Sergio Perez claimed pole position in a dramatic Saudi Arabian GP qualifying, which saw Lewis Hamilton eliminated early in 16th and two drivers heavily crash out and Mick Schumacher airlifted to hospital after a big shunt. Perez edged the Ferrari to seal a superb and unexpected first pole for Red Bull in his 219th Grand Prix, with the epic Q3 shootout completing a Jeddah qualifying session full of significant moments. Nicholas Latifi earlier crashed out in Q1 as the Williams before a major shock as Hamilton, F1's most successful driver, was knocked out in the first part of qualifying for the first time since 2017. There were more red flags in Q2 as Schumacher lost control of his Haas before a huge crash into turn 12, which led to an hour delay to qualifying to the Haas car as it was removed from the Jeddah street track and the walls were repaired. Schumacher has been airlifted to hospital but is said to be physically fine, but he won't race tomorrow. 10 drivers made it through to Q3 and not many would have had Perez as a favourite, but just as Charles Leclerc looked set to head a Ferrari 1-2 on the grid, Perez pumped in one of the best laps of his career to beat the Monegasque by just 0.025. Carlos Sainz was third ahead of Max Verstappen. Perez's Red Bull teammate was surprisingly off colour when it mattered most. Red Bull and Ferrari likely to go head to head once again. George Russell managed to get much more out of the Mercedes and Hamilton, qualifying 6th behind the impressive Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. Saudi Arabian GP qualifying took place following crisis talks between the drivers on Friday night after a missile attack on the nearby oil facility. It was finally decided between all four parties that they should continue with the Jeddah event starting today. There was drama throughout the session and it all starts in Q1 with Latifi's crash at turn 13 with the Williams the first to push the limit to the unforgiving Corniche circuit. He was taken to the medical centre unharmed. The precedent of one of the biggest shocks in recent qualifying memory was Hamilton eliminated in 16th. It was not due to weather or bad luck. Hamilton was down in that position on a lack of pace alone, and despite his best efforts and plenty of flying laps on softer tyres, he was subject to a humiliating exit when Lance Stroll improved. It was his first Q1 elimination since the 2017 Brazilian GP when he crashed, and with no mitigating factors since the 2009 British Grand Prix. Hamilton sounded surprised when told of the deficit to Russell, who was 4th in that segment. Sky F1's Paul di Resta said, "That's not the Lewis Hamilton we know. There must be something within that car that's not right." There was then another crash, this time more significant, as Schumacher slammed sideways into the barrier at turn 12 during Q2. Pictures did not immediately show replays, leading to fears over his well-being, although the German son of F1 legend Michael was said to be conscious before making his way to the medical centre. Haas stated he was physically fine, but he was airlifted to hospital in a helicopter for further precautionary checks. But he is fine, thankfully, but will not take part in tomorrow's race, which is completely expected. And yeah, hope to see Mick well and fighting in Australia in a few weeks. Following an hour delay, Q2 concluded with Lando Norris narrowly avoiding the top 10 shootout in the McLaren, before Ferrari appeared to be romping away with the battle for pole in Q3. Verstappen, who is almost exclusively Red Bull's lead driver on Saturday, endured what he described as a terrible first lap, while Leclerc and Sainz found form. But just as it looked like Ferrari going to continue their perfect start to F1 this year, Perez pumped in purple sectors on his way to snatching pole. "I can do 1,000 laps and I don't think it could be less than that," Perez said. It was set for a cracking race tomorrow with Red Bull and Ferrari fighting up front. But anyway guys, before I go, let me run you through the grid. And yeah, Perez on pole, just incredible lap. I don't see anyone saw it coming, but credit to him, just incredible lap. Leclerc and Sainz, I think they will be frustrated because, yeah, probably they did have the car to take pole, but yeah, just testament to that by Perez. Verstappen in 4th, yeah, really confusing, just didn't have the pace there, especially compared to where we normally see him from Perez, but I'm sure he'll come back fighting tomorrow. Then you've got Ocon and Alonso, P5 and P7. The Alpine really seems to be finding form at the moment. They'll be delighted with that. Russell in 6th. I mean, like, it's an improvement on Hamilton, and yeah, you'd expect him to be able to get past Ocon tomorrow. But yeah, just on the whole for Mercedes, just a terrible day, as I'll come into in a minute. Bottas in 8th, continuing a solid run at Alfa Romeo. He'll be happy with that. Gasly in 9th, I think, as well. Magnussen in 10th, considering the destructive weekend he had, I think he'll be happy. Norris within 11th, and Ricciardo would have been 12th had he not been given a free place penalty for impeding, which will obviously harm him. So yeah, progress from McLaren. Joe higher up, and Stroll getting into Q2 are all positives. And then of course you've got Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, just no idea what happened to him. Toto said that he kind of messed up a setup change, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him starting from the pit lane tomorrow, getting the old setup, maybe putting in a few new power unit components, etc, etc. I think that's probably what happened, and hopefully he can charge back and score points for his sake. Then you've got the two Williams drivers down there, not looking great for them. Obviously Latifi crashing, Hulkenberg in 17th. Yeah, he's been off the pace this weekend, but to be honest, it's no surprise, is it? And Tsunoda with an issue when he's looked so good compared to Gasly all weekend. So frustrating, and Jerry, it does seem like Red Bull powertrains are having a few reliability nibbles at the moment. Anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, any thoughts, comments down below, phone on to the description for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now, would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.